Have you ever played Risk and felt, this is nice and all, but it really needs more gangsters? No? Well, Freeverse certainly did, and the result was 1999's Deathground, a novel take on the classic board game that sees you and between 1 and 6 other players struggling for control of either New York, the US, or the entire globe. Welcome to yesteryear's Mac Games, where today we've stepped back into Prohibition-era USA. Deathground is a pretty decent take on the Risk formula, boasting silly characters, lots of voice clips, an entertaining theme, and hot seat multiplayer. Risk was technically already on the Macintosh, as a game called, Risk, oddly enough. But these are older releases for earlier hardware, and so don't look anywhere near as sophisticated as Deathground. Another similar title worth comparison to is Chaos Overlords, which, while technically isn't Risk, sort of has elements of it in. It scratches the same itch. While a great game in its own right, it isn't, however, anywhere near as accessible. What I mean by that is that Deathground brings enough new ideas to the table to stand out, but is familiar enough to allow anyone to play without having to learn a great deal. You'll get the hang of playing this within minutes. The game is turn-based, so a player's go will trundle along something like this. Place new troops that you get at the start of your turn on any hood that you control. Select a hood with more than 2 guys and select a second one adjacent to that to attack. Once you're done shooting at things, hit the Fortify button to move troops between connected hoods. Super simple stuff. Your goal is to remove all the troops of the opponents from the playing field.
Don't kill me.
Unless a player's luck has been modified, it's a 50-50 chance that 4 of your guys will displace 4 hostiles. These hoods are split up into districts. Controlling an entire district will therefore give you a fat bonus of new recruits at the start of every turn. The better you're doing, the more troops you will get. If you're doing badly because you've made decisions of questionable strategic merit, the odds are against you to recover. There are a handful of effectors that can change how a game unfolds, achieved by taking over a hood with a bullet next to it.
Hey, we got some lead.
These are usually just gain a unit, lose a unit. But on occasion, a player may gain or lose a turn, which can really change how the game is progressing.
Nuts!
There are also a few permanent effectors on tiles, such as hospitals and police stations. Control a hood with a hospital, and it may generate an extra unit on occasion. In contrast, controlling a police station will allow you to occasionally remove opposing units. In my opinion, none of these effectors really bring anything to the game, particularly later on when everyone's commanding a lot more units. The odd extra one here and there just doesn't make any difference, and slows gameplay down as you wait for the animation and sounds to play out. I feel that at least having the option to have the effectors make bigger changes is a missed opportunity. The fixed turn order could be considered another minor issue. Mo Green, that's the green player, will always go first. Granny Dirtnap, that's the brown player, will always go last. Player 7 then, that's Granny, if human, will feel a bit hard done by, as there's no way to randomise it. The 3 maps are a little limited too. From what I saw of game reviews from back in the day, it looks like the game could readily have accepted new ones, if anybody had made any. It was stated that Freeverse were happy to share information on making maps to anyone who emailed in to inquire. So I'm not sure if any actually did get made, and if they did, they haven't made it to archival. The stock 3 maps that you get then, they're alright. New York is pretty detailed and looks great. The US map is somewhat less detailed, but makes a good change. And the world map is huge and suitable for big games. But it looks like the arse end of a wheelie bin. The game runs on macOS 7.6 and up. I'm running it here on macOS 9, and there are a few graphical anomalies as a result. There is an update to the version I'm running that might fix it, but I didn't bother. Also, if you're playing off the CD or disk image, this might happen, which will crash the game. To avoid this, copy the game to the hard disk, and up the memory allocation. All of these minor issues, however, don't overshadow what Deathground does right. It's brimming with character, and characters. They're all very silly and have a range of amusing quips that are fired off when something significant happens, such as gaining or losing a district.
Let's change this town's name to Moville, baby.
The bios make good reading too. Granny Dirtnap machine-gunned half the town of Ballyhooey because she didn't like the look of them. His lordship is equally lethal, with his walking stick and the throwing scones of death, which he keeps in his top hat. If any scientist were insane enough to care to study what constitutes a lethal dose of gnocchi, Stinky Colleone would be his ideal test subject.
Ouch!
Overall, Deathground achieves what it set out to do quite nicely. There are some limitations to the game, but I think that's within expectation for a shareware title. This was the first thing Freeverse shipped on a CD, and they rather thoughtfully decided to bundle some Freeverse toys with it. The highlight of these for me is Sim Stapler. All the excitement of wasting office supplies from the comfort of your own Mac. Let's go for a combo.
Splendid!
Indeed. If then you're looking for a fun turn-based strategy game that's a little bit different, to play on your own or hot seat with chums, Deathground may well be for you. Relevant links as ever are available in the description. Do share your thoughts and memories in the comments, or on Twitter. You can find me at YYsMG.
The rat. Losing is about the only thing I do regularly.
That's it for now then. If you like Deathground, or old Mac games in general, why not peruse some of my other videos? I upload new content periodically, so subscribe to never miss a future instalment. Thanks for watching then, and see you next time.